Chapters.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
This is awesome. Come parlez-vous. We're going over to Paris. What's happening?
Hey, Tom, it's Adam from Paris. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Adam. Yourself?
That's good. Long time no talk. I appreciate everything you've done for me and my family over the years. So,
Well, we appreciate you growling problem with us.
Yeah, sir. I've done gold reports and all the softwares and all your books and read it. Generational thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, folks? This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. I hope you all are having a good day. We are down slightly in the market. Again, I want to say before we begin, you should really check out the interview that I had with Tim Ord yesterday. If you didn't get to see that, you can go to our YouTube channel at TFNN and like and subscribe while you're there. But that had some really good information about what could be happening going forward. Let's take a look at what we've got going on in the E-mini right now. We're off about 0.28% just in the markets in general. Let's see what we got going on. NQs, now this is the big diver today, down about 1.29%. The gold contract off about 1% entirely. Let me see, we get the dollar. Still in the lower trading range that the dollar has been in. Okay, so at 104.65. Of course, we had PC come out. We'll talk a little bit about that. Silver continuing to go down. We're off about 3.5%. Copper at 4.6. And then crude. Now, what's really interesting is next month, we get the OPEC report, which is always super fun to read through. And I do not say that sarcastically. It is super interesting. So PCE was a little bit on the high side of expectations, but still within expectations. So that came in about 0.24% month over month. Obviously, that gets rounded down, but the high end was 0.26 that analysts had. So we still are a little bit on the higher side with it as well. You know, this kind of helps a little bit push down the market. Obviously, you had NVIDIA down a little bit today, but not a major driver down in the NQs. You had some other tech like Sentinel-1 for cybersecurity off quite a bit. In fact, Sentinel-1 is off about 14%. 14.19%. Might be interesting to talk about that a little bit. You know, I'm a big believer in cybersecurity, and one of the things that was interesting to me is that people were slowing down, I say people, but large corporations were slowing down spending into their cybersecurity infrastructure, which I thought was a very poor idea. Of course, we've been seeing a lot of companies get hit. Major company, I will get the name for you after this, but you know, they had a larger breach. Starts with an S. They had a larger breach earlier this year, and now all the data of those 35 million customers are for sale right now on the dark web. If I had a Tor browser, I would show you. However, what I'm talking about with spending for cybersecurity, or rather the decrease in it, is starting to change a little bit, which is interesting for Sentinel-1 going down so greatly, especially, again, as we're seeing this kind of... Give me 1 second. Okay, we're good. Especially after we're seeing a ramp up in spending for cybersecurity. So let's talk about this a little bit. Reported break-even quarterly earnings per share. This compares to a loss of 15 cents a year ago. It had a loss total of 5 cents. These figures are adjusted for non-recurring items. This quarterly report represents an earnings surprise. A quarter ago, it was expected that this cybersecurity provider would post a loss of 4 cents per share, and it posted a loss of 2 cents. Over the last 4 quarters, the company has surpassed consensus EPS estimates 4 times. So it's underperformed the market so far, and essentially some of the outlook was a little bit low for it as well. But this is pretty high volume coming out of Sentinel-1. It'll be interesting to see some of these smaller cybersecurity platforms, how they're going to fare, right? One of the things I talk about a lot when talking about IT and security in general is I see a lot of larger companies going towards a single vendor, right? So can Sentinel-1 compete with things like Cisco or Juniper Systems? It'll be hard to say, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Regardless, we are down 14% today right now in Sentinel-1. let's talk a little bit about PCE. I'm going to pull this over right now. We can talk a little bit, right? So let's take a look. We're looking, this is in current dollars and chain dollars, which is just compensating essentially for inflation. It's using like a base month or a base value in order to get it's like real. It's the real inflation, right? Excuse me, the real change. So anyways, personalized income increased 65.3 billion. Personal income less personal current taxes, increased 40.2 billion, and personal consumption expenditures increased 39.1 billion. The PCE price index increased 0.3%. This is excluding food and energy. The PCE price index increased 0.2%, and then the real DPI, that is disposable personal income, decreased 0.1%. This is why you've got to use these chain dollars, right? Because if you're looking at it, we're up 0.2, but in reality, you know, and this is even in a realm where, how you say, like, PCI wasn't that much higher as well. So inflation is still really eroding the purchasing power here of the dollar in a real way, and we can see that through this statement here. So the increase in current dollar personal income in April primarily reflected increases in compensation, personal income receipts on assets, and the government social benefits to persons. The 39.1 billion increase in current dollar PCE in April reflected an increase of 49.1 billion. We've been spoke about that in the beginning. Spending for services that was partly offset by the 10 billion decrease in spending for goods. Let's talk about real PCE. Give me 1 second to clear my throat as well. The 0.1% decrease in real PCE in April reflected a decrease of 0.4% in spending on goods and an increase of 0.1% in spending on services. Interesting. Within goods, the largest contributors to the decrease were gasoline and other energy goods, recreational goods and vehicles, and other non-durable goods. Within services, the largest contributor to the increase was healthcare. Okay, that you kind of anticipate that a little bit as well. Detailed information on monthly real PCE spending can be found in Table 2.4. That's fine. We can take a look. Anyways, this was still within target. You have, okay, this can give, you know, the market wants some kind of hopium for near-term interest rate decreases. And you can kind of see that a little bit in how the bonds kind of reacted, right? Of course, you have, I think, the EU's coming down on some interest rates. But, you know, you're getting right now an increase in the price of bonds. This is going to lower the yield of it as well. And, you know, that can kind of indicate that the market is ready or anticipating lower Fed fund rates overall. However, I think you see the broader market as well right now down still. And there's still a lot of, you know, we're unsure whether or not it's going to happen. Low interest rates. And I really want to poke on this too, because, yeah, you know, essentially, again, we've been making these all-time highs in the markets predicated on this idea that we are going to have lower interest rates. And I get concerned that this won't be the case. And so what happens when, let's say, you know, a few quarters out, we still have high interest rates, and these companies that are getting all this money and it's pushing the market up start not doing well for maybe like 2 quarters or something? Then you can see a lot of loss of capital. What happens if you get, you know, some kind of rampant recession or anything like that, right? The Fed's in this kind of weird position where if they don't lower them, you know, you get in this weird stagnant position. If they do, you might risk more inflation. Anyways, it's interesting to think about. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The stock market is a delicate interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee, so what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. I will be with you Monday as well. I want to say, we got a lot of new people in the den, which is so solid. If you want to get into that, you're not familiar, what it is we have a large group of, guys and gals who've been trading for a long time. If you're new to trading, you got to get in there and just kind of read what they're saying, interact with everyone. It is awesome. And then if you are on YouTube, I know we have a lot of new people on YouTube as well. Welcome, and please make sure to like that video and subscribe because it helps us out immensely, and we want to continue to bring you guys some really awesome content, so we appreciate that. Let's take a look right now at Dell. Now, there was a really cool interview that Tom actually turned me on to, and it was Jensen Huang and the CEO of Dell essentially speaking about how these two companies are going to be vastly intertwined going forward with these kind of large data centers for AI, right? This is the big future, are these data centers, right? I'm almost hypothesizing too. I know there is this conversation about Bill Gates, maybe a few months back or a year ago, about him buying all this farmland, and there were some, people wondering why that was occurring. And now it's almost starting to make sense, right? I think a lot of this land is going to be used to build, nuclear reactors, other forms of energy to power these massive data centers. Now, this is probably 3 decades out. I'm saying roughly, right? Because the scale of these things will be so immense. But it seems like as NVIDIA is at the center of that with their H100 chips, well, it seems like Dell is also at the center of that using their server. This is the XE9680 server. Okay, we take a look a little bit at this. It's actually it's called Israel 1 for some reason, but it's a collaboration between Dell Technologies and NVIDIA to build a large-scale, state-of-the-art artificial intelligence and machine learning facility located in NVIDIA's data center out in Israel. That's why it's called Israel 1. This will feature 2048, the latest NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs using 256 Dell PowerEdge XE9680 AI servers. And it is really funny that we're going back to Dell Tech in the year of 2024. I mean, who would have thought that, right? I can link, if you want this blog from Dell, I can send it to you in an email, but it's kind of cool. It has some of the topography of how these data centers will be set up. It's very neat. So if NVIDIA is at the front of this, right, and we know it is, I mean, we're looking at the stock price, and then Dell is as well, why is Dell off about 17.53% after earnings? So let's talk about that a little bit. Sales increased 6.3% to $22.2 billion in the period ended May 3rd. Analysts on average expected a $21.6 billion. Profit, excluding some items, was $1.27 a share, compared to the average projection of $1.23. So revenue from Dell's powerful servers equipped to handle the artificial intelligence more than doubled from the previous quarter of $1.7 billion. The backlog for those machines increased more than 30% quarter over quarter to $3.8 billion. The excitement around the AI demand for Dell's machine created high expectations, and they didn't meet even though they were positive expectations. The shares dropped as much as 19%. Dell stock had more than tripled over the past 12 months as investors have viewed the hardware maker as a beneficiary of demand for artificial intelligence, and there's no doubt that is true. Let's even take a look. This is only on a year-to-date chart. When we go to 1 year, I mean, you know, we're trading in December of 2023 at $67, went all the way up to $179.70 when the news came out that their servers are going to be used. Yeah, this is seriously, relative to high expectations, it was disappointing. This is an analyst saying this as well. Dell expects momentum from AI demand will continue through the year. The company raised its revenue outlook for the fiscal year ending in February 2025 to a range of $93.5 billion to $97.5 billion, an 8% increase at the midpoint. That's pretty crazy to think about, too. Especially with the... Yeah, especially with what the revenue was this quarter. That's insane. Still, that outlook implies a relatively flat AI server sales through the rest of the year. Yeah, this is really what they're going to have to kind of be. Let's look at this then, too. Total sales at Dell's infrastructure unit, which includes servers and networking and storage equipment, jumped 22% to $9.2 billion. I think Dell is just entirely, I think so these computers are Dell, but most of them are just gone out of the personal consumption. So if these guys can really lock in, you know, with Microsoft and really even any other company that's using H100 chips, they'll be good to go. And as this expands out more and more, which we're already seeing these large tech companies mobilizing to do, Dell will no doubt be in a really solid state going forward. Now, I'm not saying that's a 1 year term or anything on the near term. But any of these companies that are getting in now, and the infrastructure of these things is being built on them, are really going to be poised to expand in a major way when these large data centers inevitably take over. And I'm talking, these will be like acres. It's actually kind of nuts to think about a little bit. Speaking on AI, I actually just used ChatGPT 4.0 or whatever, and it's actually pretty neat. Now let's talk a little bit about Google, because Google had some pretty big fails this past weekend. They have Gemini and Claude and all these things. And so when you're using Google, the search, the first result you get is an AI-generated search. And now it's interesting because a lot of, I don't know how this is in other age demographics, but certainly for people in my age group and a little bit younger, when we're looking for information on something, because we have this idea, maybe young people wouldn't explain it this way, but in my opinion, this is really what it is that SEO has really destroyed search engines in a major way, right? Like I want to look up something and get information. What I'm going to get is someone paying for something, and they're trying that. What that means is they're usually trying to sell me on something else, and I don't like that, and I don't trust that, and I think a lot of young people also sense that as well. And so what we tend to do is you type in a question like, why does my lower back hurt? Because I'm 27 now and that happens. And then I will type in Reddit afterwards, right? That's just an example. But the idea is this is almost crowdsourcing information, right? So and ideally once you crowdsource information, you can see how many people liked a certain thing, and you can kind of, in a lot of ways, eliminate the bias you would get out of, traditional search results that are fueled essentially by paying for the spot. However, this comes with a major caveat in the fact that it seems that AI isn't very good at least Google's AI, because I'll tell you something else after this. Google's AI is not very good right now at determining what answers are troll answers. And so, of course, in any kind of Reddit or forum or any kind of crowdsourced information kind of portal, you're going to get trolls on it 100%. And humans are able to kind of parse that out. AI apparently is not. So Google was giving these insane answers, like why is the cheese falling off my pizza, and it recommended adding glue to it, and some other ones that are not broadcasting friendly, but you can look all those up. And this was kind of a big L on Google's part. They've dumped billions of dollars into this, and to launch that way is honestly kind of sad. And there's this kind of joke that's going around in tech circles and even in gaming as well, where it's, do the people who are producing these things even test them out before they launch them? And you can see it in Activision. You're seeing it now in Google. It's nuts. We'll talk a little bit about this, some more about it when we get back from the break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Tigers, you've seen his show, you've learned from his webinars, and now it's time to trade side by side with him. Join Larry Pesavento for the second month of his new service, Live Trading Fridays. Hosted in the Tigers Den trading room on Discord, Larry has analyzed a number of commodities and indices, placed profitable trades, and explained his method. Whether you're new to trading or are a seasoned market veteran, trading side by side with a titan like Larry Pesavento will only enhance your game. Utilizing Fibonacci retracements and ABCD structures, Larry provides decades of insight into when to place trades, when to exit, when to ignore, and so much more. Learning is doing. So if you're serious about learning technical analysis and becoming profitable in this uncertain market, Live Trading Fridays is a must-have tool in your arsenal. Live Trading Fridays occur every second and fourth Friday of the month, so trading events for this month are May 10th and 24th. If you're serious about trading, we'll see you there. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome Welcome back, folks. This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. Before we went to the break, we were talking about Google. We're off about 0.35% right now, trading at 172.98, and its failure with its AI-generated summaries of search results on Google, on its search engine. Anyways, my point is that I was on a roll and then we hit the break. And the point is that there's still so far to go with it. It's weird that some of these major companies are rolling this stuff out and they're not really good. I guess they said that they extensively tested this beforehand, and I'm not a developer, so I can't really criticize on that end. But it's weird that there were a lot. Some of them, of course, were like fake screenshots, no doubt, right? But it's just, how could you not anticipate answers like that inside the summary, and how do you exclude that? I mean, Meta has this issue as well with Facebook. I mean, that search result for that search function for the first 2 weeks was, nearly unusable. I don't use Facebook that much, and that definitely made me not ever want to use it again. And what's doubly strange about this whole thing is that, there's browsers that exist, open source browsers. One of the ones that I use at home is one called Brave. It's like a Chromium fork. And they've had an AI summary search function for the past 2 years. And I don't really use it that much. I get it every time, and it's okay. It's not very in-depth or anything like that. But it's how is that better? A bunch of open source developers, how is that better than what Google's doing with billions of dollars? So I don't know how to answer that or what we do. Anyways, they're working on that to fix it, and we'll have to wait to see. On this note, let's talk a little bit about OpenAI and what they're doing. Well, first, everything happened today with Donald Trump, with the verdict, and what happened on Twitter subsequent to that is a lot of people used deepfakes and different AIs to essentially make fake videos of Donald Trump saying things. You're seeing it a little bit in a smaller scale, kind of like a campaigning on Twitter as well. These smaller scale guys, whether it's even gubernatorial or even down to counties in some areas, those guys are kind of easy to troll, and that happens, right? So let's talk a little bit about the good side of this. Well, you have OpenAI. This has shut down influence networks using its tools in Russia and China, which is actually super interesting. OpenAI said that it has cut off 5 covert influence operations in the past 3 months, including networks in China, Russia, Iran, Israel, that access ChatGPT makers' artificial intelligence products to try to manipulate public opinion or shape political outcomes while obscuring their true identity. The new report from ChatGPT Maker comes at a time of widespread concern about the role of AI in global elections slated for this year. In its findings, OpenAI listed the ways in which influence networks have used its tools to more effectively deceive people, including using AI to generate images and text in larger volume and with fewer language errors than would have been possible by humans alone. That is one of the big things that I think we took for granted, right? If you were reading something in broken English online and there was someone, pretending to be, whatever, you could kind of suss out that maybe this is a scammer, right? Just the syntax didn't make sense, right? And that's going away now with ChatGPT. And you better believe beyond these massive influence networks that you have, the Cyprian scammers or whatever, they're going to figure out ways to use as well. I'm sure they probably are using it to make better emails. We all get phishing emails all the time, and a lot of times you kind of laugh at it because it's just so ridiculous. But those days will go away at some point, and so you have to be more vigilant than ever. And I'm sure new tools will come out as well. I know OpenAI is talking about having something that, in a way, essentially kind of tags the product of one of their programs, and then so it can be kind of analyzed by another program and determined whether or not it was developed by AI, and specifically OpenAI. And I don't know how fleshed out that is, but it needs to be. And especially for image generation. So there's something called stenography, right? And it's the concept of hiding messages or data inside of pictures, right? And very, very cool process, honestly. But you could take a picture of me right now, and using stenographic tools, I could right, some kind of bit of data in it, and as long as someone had the key, they could process that and get the message that I was trying to send. And I would be extremely surprised if they didn't start doing that in some of their image generation software, like adding some kind of tag, right? And if there's a public key, you can use that essentially to decode it and see if, it has the stamp for OpenAI. I don't know if they're doing that, but that would be, I think, an intelligent way. But they might figure out something even better than that. Anyways, over the last year and a half, there have been a lot of questions around what might happen if influence operations use generative AI. I promise you that was going to be like the first people to ever use this kind of stuff. With this report, we really want to start filling in some of the blanks. The company said it defined its targets as covert influence operations that are deceptive attempts to manipulate public opinion or influence political outcomes without revealing the true identity or intentions of the actors behind them. While propaganda networks have long used social media platforms, their use of generative AI is relatively new. And this is really because you can make them more accurate, less detectable to the group that you're trying, the demographic that you're trying to hit, and the volume is so much larger, right? So that's a major thing as well. If you just keep flooding people with this incorrect information or like doomy information, it really does have an impact. And so generative AI is helping these kind of entities do this. OpenAI said that in all the operations it identified, AI-generated material was used alongside more traditional formats, such as manually written texts or memes on major social media sites. In addition to using AI for generating images, text, and social media bios, some influence networks also use OpenAI's products to increase your productivity by summarizing articles or debugging code for bots. Very interesting. So group Doppelganger from Russia, Spamiflage from China, and then of course Iranian and Israeli groups were using this as well. Also, if I was talking to someone I know, and they're much older than I am, and I was talking about memes being used by groups like this, and they kind of laughed and didn't really believe it. But you can look on, I forget the government website, but Joe Biden is looking for a basically meme director for his campaign. These things are massive, and in my opinion, this is kind of what led a little bit to Trump's success in 2016 was how online he was, right? And the memes surrounding him were just really hit the mark for a lot of people in major ways. So it's good to see that a lot of these people are getting onto this concept. But as consumers, we need to be aware of what's going on. When we see a funny image or whatever and we like it and we share it with people, we should take a second to try to understand what we're really doing. Because when you look at memes, you're still consuming, and you want to make sure you're not engaged in, whatever, especially a propaganda program from an adversarial nation. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. Let's take a look at the E-mini over the break. Well, we came down really this morning with some pretty significant volume. We made a low of about, what the heck is that number? About 52.04. Came back up. Looks like we're going to, I don't know if we have enough juice or enough time really even to test the high of the day, but we'll see how it shakes out. But that is some pretty strong volume, at least on the weekly, to the downside at the open. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about, I promise I'm going to end this show on a rosy note because I know I'm talking about some heavy stuff here a little bit, but I do want to talk about this because it's kind of interesting. Now, this usually doesn't affect a lot of people, but this is about the adjustable rate mortgages that exist. And while I think it's only, like, if I was reading correctly, it's only about 6% are ARMs in America, but they make up such a larger portion of dollars, right? So let's take a look about this. Well, first I want to say they're about to reset for a lot of people, right? So from 2019, a lot of these ARMs are coming out. There's more than 1.7 million owners of homes bought since 2019 that are with adjustable rates. They're set at a rate lower than the prevailing 30-year for the first few years, of course. And so this is really good if you plan on getting out of that home very quickly. But you had this crazy confluence of events that occurred where people were not really able to sell their homes over the past, year and a half. And so people were getting locked in. And so now you have quite a few people who are still locked in and their initial fixed period is about to end. So more than 1.4 million, okay, look at this. So from 2019 to 2024, this is ARM originations, 328,000 have already reset and are in their variable period, but 1.4 million are still in initial fixed period, and that's essentially set to reset in either this year or the next year as well. And if we don't have loans coming down at a certain point, this can be actually pretty nasty for the people who are holding them. So coming out of the fixed period, the interest rates soared over a 2-decade high. About 100,000 will see their first adjustment in the next 12 months. This is according to ICE Mortgage Technology. These people tend to be well off, so it's not so big of a deal. Anyways, just something kind of interesting to look at. And what I didn't realize is reading this is kind of how actually lucky we are in a sense in the U.S. where fixed rate is actually way more common here than it is other places in the world. I guess UK and Australia just have a baseline variable rate, which is kind of terrifying, especially when you have periods of high inflation like that. So they gave an example here in this Bloomberg article. Consider a 5-year ARM that's resetting this year. When it was taken out in 2019, the average size was 791,000 with a 3.3% fixed rate, equating to a monthly payment of $34.65 before home insurance and property taxes. Home insurance is another thing, on a side note, that is skyrocketing, and that's not being included in inflation either, which is kind of a nuts thing to think about. ARM rates are now around 6.5%. Although thanks to a cap, the loan will likely reset at 5.3% initially. But this would add about $1,000 a month. A survey conducted this month for Bloomberg by polling firm Civic Science found that 70% of ARM holders say that they're at least somewhat concerned about making the new monthly mortgage payments since interest rates are up. Almost 1 in 10 think they may delay or default on their mortgage once it adjusts, which is nuts. Trying to see if there's anything else that's important in this. Yeah, again, to, I guess, reiterate, this is a smaller portion of the market, but it's a lot of money in this small portion since it tends to be higher earners that do this kind of stuff. So pretty, pretty nuts to think about with that. 1 second here. All right, let's talk a little bit about some pharmaceutical stuff. If I can get a moment here and get this loaded up. Perfect. All right, so let's first take a look, I think it's mRNA, at Moderna. Trading down 5.8%, but let's look at this article. They have the FDA approves Moderna's RSV vaccine for seniors, the company's second ever product. So the Food and Drug Administration on Friday approved Moderna's vaccine for respiratory sinusitis virus for adults ages 60 and above. You're familiar with this if you have little kids or are around people who teach little kids, because you will get it for sure. The decision is a win for Moderna, which desperately needs another revenue source amid plunging demand for its COVID vaccine, its only commercially available product. Approval of Moderna's shot is based on the late-stage trial on older adults who are more vulnerable to severe cases of RSV. It is not a fun thing. It can stick with you for a long time. I had that cough for like 3 weeks, and I'm a pretty healthy young guy. The virus kills between 6,000 and 10,000 seniors every year and results in 60,000 to 160,000 hospitalizations. And that's from the CDC. That's pretty nuts. Moderna's shot will be marketed under the brand name mRESVIA. It is the first messenger RNA vaccine to get approved for a disease other than COVID. The company's shot is also the only RSV vaccine to be available in pre-filled syringes, which is designed to make it easier to administer to patients. Interesting. I'm surprised that's actually a first. I mean, I guess, yeah, you think about it, a lot of vaccines are set in these little vials. And I know West Pharmaceuticals was the one who really developed that, little plunger, right? You could take it and just keep getting more of the vaccine, and it sealed itself. And that was pretty novel when that came out. I think that was like in the 70s that got developed. Anyways, an advisory panel to the CDC will vote in June on recommendations for the use and intended population of the Moderna shot. The company expects an equal recommendation to existing RSV shot from GSK and Pfizer. Put this on a year to date just because I want to look at it. Yeah, and this is, so you get high volume on this day moving up, and then kind of just a pull down. This drawdown is on light volume. This may be people taking profits as well. And sometimes it takes a while for these companies to become, to really see the response from getting FDA approval on some of these things. So positive recommendation for the CDC would allow Moderna's vaccine to compete against GSK and Pfizer, which launched their respective shots in the U.S. last fall. Pfizer's vaccine has so far lagged behind GSK's, but both shots have so far recorded hundreds of millions in sales. Moderna's full year 2024 sales guidance of roughly $4 billion includes revenue from its RSV vaccine. The approval demonstrates the versatility of the mRNA platform beyond treating COVID. The biotech company is still using the technology to tackle a range of different diseases, including RSV, and then really the major one is cancer. But if I recall correctly, something happened with the cancer mRNA tests with Moderna, and that resulted in kind of a sell-off for them as well. Anyways, they have a lot of products. It says 40 products that are all based on this mRNA system of delivery, which is actually pretty insane. Let me see. So phase 3 trial on roughly 37,000 people showed that Moderna's vaccine was 83.7% effective at preventing at least 2 symptoms of RSV at around 3 months. New data from that study in February showed that shot's efficacy declined 63% at 8.6 months, but you know what, that's okay, because that means they get to produce more units. So that's good looking forward. Now, here's another one as well. Give me 1 second here. Oh, well, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The stock market is a delicate interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. We talked about Moderna a little bit on the last break with their new RSV mRNA vaccine, and then I was looking at Pfizer a little bit. Basically, they have this vaccine, essentially, drug for advanced lung cancer, and it looks like it's going okay, and they're presenting it to the American Society of Clinical Oncology today. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out for them. But what I want to talk about a little bit is Boeing. So they cannot continue to develop the 737s right now. They released an 11-page report. And this is making me so frustrated because I cannot find the PDF. I have scoured Boeing's website. I am seeing little synopsis they have here and there, or, just some sugar coating by the CEO, which I think we can all agree we're sick of in companies, right? Like, they have this new safety management system policy, like we foster a positive safety culture. We openly communicate safety actions. It's like, no, you don't. And that's why this is happening. And anyways, I wanted to see the synopsis of what they gave to the Justice Department, but I could only find just the first page of the PDF. So if you have access to that somehow, please email me at jacob@tfnn.com. I'd be super interested to essentially go over that. But they still have a lot of work to do. So we can look at this a little bit. So they told the federal regulators how it plans to fix aircraft safety and quality problems. Again, it's just not. I think you can watch some of the interview, but you really want to read that PDF, right? Because like I said, I can read the first page, but I can't find anything else. So this is a guide for a new way for Boeing to do business. A new way. It's like just go back to what you're doing before, whatever you started doing to try to increase profits on this. So they released an 11-page summary of its product safety and quality plan, which describes steps the company is taking, including increased inspections and tighter control over suppliers. Calhoun, who announced after the Jan 5 blowout during Alaska Airlines flight, he was stepped down, so the document was crafted, but with comments by employees. Great. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I will be with you Monday. Folks, please, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and give us a subscription and a like. If you are on TikTok, you're one of these younger guys out there, follow us, Tiger Financial. I am posting stuff daily, and we are on Instagram as well at TFNN. Folks, have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday.